Hey, we're live. Hi, welcome to the Beauty of Boxing. Thank you for being here today with me, KO. How are you?
No problem. Good. How are you? Nice to be here with you.
Yeah, I wanted to talk to you, get you a little platform to, so everybody can hear what you have to say. I know you're already a decorated champion, and thank you for taking your time out to talk to us today. But
No problem.
I'll let you go ahead and introduce yourself.
All right. So what chair Nuni New Khan with Reese, Kayleigh, KO, Mequinoag, Reese, from Providence, Rhode Island. 4-time champ. Current IWBA super lightweight champion. I basically said, good evening, everybody. My name is Kayleigh, KO Reis, and I'm from Providence, Rhode Island in my language.
And you're the first Native American female fighter champion, right?
Absolutely. First female Native American champion, WBO, or WBC, IB. UBS, also I'm mixed with Cape Verdean. So as far as I know, I'm the first Native and Cape Verdean champion.
That's amazing. So I wanted to talk about what happened on Twitter. I saw a little snippet, but I didn't get to see the actual interview of what you said after your fight, but they were talking about you calling somebody out.
Yes. Do I have to say her name? Because I took it out of my library in my brain because our name ain't even taking up space in my brain. That around here no more. But what happened is people have always asked me, who do you want to see in the ring? And I've mentioned Layla McCarter a few times because I knew it would be a really good fight. She's been around. I knew I could make 140 eventually just to have different options. There was a couple of people respectfully that I wanted to meet in the ring. I don't have beef. I'm vegan anyway, so I have no beef with nobody. I let my hands do the talking in the ring, so I don't really have any beef. I respect everybody what goes into that ring, and especially people who are quote unquote pioneers of boxing when I first started. So basically what happened was my management team had put out an open call for the date that we had locked in for this fight because nobody wanted to fight me. So we had a few people that answered it, Layla McCarter being one of them, which was awesome because we wanted to make that fight anyway. So my promotion, my management team was getting things together. In the meantime, my father passed away. So I was dealing with that, dealing with his arrangements. And after Layla had answered the call on Facebook, there was no permanent negotiation being made. There was just contracts being made, some negotiation. But when my father passed away, that kind of took a halt for a little bit just because I need to focus on that. I knew I was going to be fighting. I just need to take a halt. Well, this little twerp took it upon herself to do a whole interview with somebody and basically say, I answered the call. We're waiting for her to, like, the whole interview was done in really bad taste. And it basically took the shine. She tried to get shine off of the open call that we put out for that. She wasn't calling me out. We were calling everybody out to try to make the fight. And there was no permanent negotiations. And she put out this interview right after the day my father passed away, and the reporter who did it blasted it all over Facebook. And I didn't even have time to respond, nor did I want to because I wasn't on Facebook. And the reason why I was upset is because if you're gonna do a post in a interview and get all the details from one, you got to get the details from the other side. And we were the ones who put it out. I happened to go on Facebook because I was getting people telling me their condolences, and I needed to let people know about my father because he knew a lot of people. And I just so happened to see that. And I called my manager, like, rip roaring shit, because I was like, yo, what the hell is this? And why is it out right now? Like, that is really bad taste. And then the way they put it and when they put it, I was pissed.
Yeah.
But I didn't have time to deal with it. So the negotiation continued. I had to handle my father's arrangements. And then she started making 101 friggin' excuses as to why the contract wasn't right. But she was telling people false information. So me and my management team and my whole team are very transparent. We can also talk some shit too. We can be assholes. So if you want to say some bullshit about my team and my representation, you're basically talking shit about me. So we put everything on blast. We put the entire contract that she was complaining about on Facebook and social media so everybody could see what she was complaining about. Basically, long story short, I wouldn't want to fucking fight me either. You know what I mean? She was basically done, and she really, honestly, made everybody see that the only thing amazing about that bitch is she's amazingly has so many fucking excuses not to fight me. And excuse my language, but I'm mad.
No, this is MA rated. Go ahead, girl.
Hang out. Word. That's
Yeah.
what happened. And so her and her little trainer manager thing, Tapia, were going back and forth and basically saying that my promotion and my team was trying to bamboozle her into getting signed, and it was just a bunch of bullshit. So try to make us look like the bad guys. I still hadn't retaliated. I have such a good team. I don't even have to talk shit. Put it that way. So I let them handle that. But they were going back and forth, back and forth. I didn't answer anything on social media. I let them handle that. But the last straw was because she took a fight the day after we were scheduled to fight.
Yeah.
Mexico again, and I have nothing, not talking anything about anybody that steps in that square circle, but against, if you are undefeated in 13 years and you're the amazing, most avoided fighter,
right.
they like sanctioned a ham sandwich against her to fight in Mexico. You went down there to fight. Okay, teach their own. Whatever, boxing is boxing. But when she had put out on social media to my manager and said, I already have 2 WBA titles and I would have had a third one, I would have beat her for that WBA title. All right. Now I'm gonna clap back because I don't talk shit, and if that's the case, then put up or shut up. At this point, it's personal. Number one, because I was disrespected, and you really did me dirty by putting that interview out in bad taste, trying to get shine off of my coattails, basically. Mm-hmm. And then, it was blasted everywhere. And then you're talking junk like you a killer, dude. You're 41 and you're irrelevant. And you want to say that. She also said that I'm not gonna go in the ring with somebody who gets beat every time she fights someone halfway decent. Look at all my losses. I ain't never got beat. The last person who beat my ass was the doctor slapped me when I came out my mother. I'm still looking for that mother. Nobody ever beat me. I only lost. So if you watch those fights, yeah, I lost, but I kept pushing. But who's still relevant? Me. Who just won the belt? Me.
Exactly.
You want to fight and you think you're gonna beat me? Prove it. Shut up. Put up or shut up. And she just did all these excuses. And now I will never deal with those two. Their team is shady. They do this. They try to bamboozle me. Whatever, man. Go pipe down, twerp. Just like cork it. Shut the fuck up.
It's so random because you literally, if you look at your record for reals, the only fights that you didn't, obviously win, but you were fighting hard champions. Mm-hmm. You were fighting hard champions. You've put in a lot of work. You have how many titles? 4 titles. And to you just won one. It's like there's nothing in her resume right now that looks anything close to yours. So it didn't make sense to me. And I was like, why does she want to fight her? I don't understand. Like, I need to know what's going on here. Because
what happened. And again, I have respect for everybody, but I lost my respect when I got disrespected. And also again, if you look at my record, all those losses, it wasn't losses. When I first fought Christina Hammer the first time, I dropped her like a sack of bricks in the 10th round. She shouldn't have got up. But will you guys ever find that fight anywhere? Nobody's ever seen it because
I looked for fights.
No. And then Kayleigh, I dropped her in the 7th round. They picked her up and allowed her to continue. But did anybody else see that fight? No. Nobody saw that fight. Everybody that I lost to, step up. I'll fight you again because they're not going to be losses this time.
Yeah, I see how well you've been. Like 6 fights in a row you've won. And I mean, I thought you had retired like in 2018, and then I'm like, no, there's 6 more. There's like she's consistently going still. Like that's amazing because obviously you're in shape. You look, I don't know, 25. You look great. So your last fight was really good.
No, I fought ever since the Cecilia Brækhus fight. I fought twice. I fought 2 times and I won. We were trying to make some things happen. We had, obviously, just like everybody else in the world, we had a big plan for 2020, but my fight got canceled about 3 days before the fight due to the pandemic. So I'm even lucky to be able to fight during this and win a world title in a weight class I've never even been to on a 15 playoff because the last time I fought was last August.
How did you decide to move to a weight class? Was it because a fight was offered for a title, or was you were already? You said you were thinking about 140, right?
I was thinking about 140. There was a fight that was available to me last year from the current WBC champ, Chantel Cameroon. Their camp was looking and actually wanted to fight me. So I was like, why the hell? I'm not even 140. But I got once my team and I kind of came up with the game plan. We realized that I really had no business being at 160 anyway. I'm a small middleweight, and I feel really comfortable at 47. 54 was my top. I shouldn't have been fighting at 160, but a lot of people don't know. I've never had a promoter. I never had a manager up until 2016. My entire career, all 3 of those titles, I won. I'm self-made. I never had any management or promotion. I was one of those fighters in the gym hey, you want to fight in Spain? This person this much. I go, hold on, yo, who want to go to Spain with me next month? You, great. Ask your dad if you can come with me, and I would go. That's how my career has been for the most part.
Cool.
And I mean, I scratched and clawed my way up to where I'm at now. So technically, now that I have the best team behind me, I mean, the sky's the limit at this point. I feel like my career just began, and we decided to drop down to 140 because it was available, and there's a lot of competition, especially with women. We can be flexible, and I can make it. You know, I made my last fight in August. We had a last minute opponent change, and they asked me to do a catch weight of 44, and I made 42. So my manager gave me that look, and I kind of was like, screw you. I think you're gonna be 140. I was like, nah. But I did it, and I did very well, and I feel good at that weight. So it's available, so I'm gonna do it.
That's amazing. I think, I mean, obviously women's boxing has exploded lately. Like, it's just there's 3 title fights. You got a title fight. And I mean, it's kind of like, it sucks because COVID really fucked boxing up, for us. But it also gave women the opportunities to promote themselves and kind of, like light the flame again, because you guys are so flexible. I can't believe that you guys change weight so much. You're like, oh, an opponent. Okay, I'll move up. Like, you guys have no problem. But the fact that you came down, that's really crazy. And you won a title. And, the fact that there's all of a sudden there's women that want to fight you all over. It's really exciting for me too.
I don't know, man. And I mean, the weight cut was easy breezy for me. There was no sauna, there was no bathtub trick. It was just hard work, and I made the weight. And yeah, I was thirsty at the weigh-in, but I felt strong. There was nothing about making that weight that made me feel like I was losing anything. I did it the right way, and I'll be able to be flexible. So we're just going to see. We have a good bargaining chip now. There's a lot of competition between 140 and 160. I don't plan on going back up to 160. I mean, money talks. If there's an available fight and it makes sense and it makes dollars and it makes sense, of course. I'm always that fighter, anyone, anywhere, anytime. But now that I'm in this point in my career and I have the right people behind me, we can pick and choose and see how we want to move the chess pieces. I mean, my manager has 3 out of the 4 belts just with him. He manages 22 females, and we have 3 of the 4 belts. So at 140, so it could get really interesting.
Yeah, I see that. I noticed. I was looking. You're with Lou, right?
Yeah, Lou.
Yeah, I saw his. I was looking and I was like, oh my God, he has a lot of girls, and I was like, and he has all those titles too. So you guys are like, it's in a good place, because I'm sure people are going to be contacting him for any one of you guys. And I really see on Twitter, there's already Eddie Hearn and there's already other people interested. So I'm really excited that, obviously, congratulations that you won the title recently. That was pretty amazing. And you looked amazing doing it. So I was like really wondering, hey, how come I don't know about this girl? Why? What's going on? And then I see your record and I'm like, oh my God, like, whoa. And I'm looking up your fights. I'm like, wait, I don't find like 12 of them.
But I've always been the underdog, or the people been sleeping on me until I fight them. Ask Cecilia Brækhus. She I was supposed to be the journey girl, oh my God, yeah, no, she don't want to fight me again. And nobody really knew who I was, but they do now. It's, if you follow women's boxing, you do. And a lot of people did, because I get avoided a lot. I'm like a scary fight, because, I can fight at middleweight. I've knocked middleweights down. I've knocked them out, and I can tussle with anybody. So yeah, I'm getting better. That's my goal in every fight, is just to get better, just to learn more and see where we could take this. So
who do you think you would want to fight for like a unification or a title? Would you do that, or you think you just want to, obviously we want to, I don't want to name her. We don't want to, who will probably avoid you. We know that, but
it on my mind. I wouldn't even allow her in the building if I was fighting, let alone step in the ring. Come on now.
Yeah.
Royalty doesn't dine with the peasants. Sorry. But, good fights at 140 that I could, make a defense. We want to really see what's going to happen next with everybody who has titles right now. Obviously, there's going to be unifications that want to be had. Cecilia Brækhus, she promised me the rematch, but she was just saying that to say that. So I know the Brækhus-McCaskill fight, the rematch is going to come soon. I mean, I still want to fight at 47. I still want an undisputed championship at 147. I've mentioned McCaskill before. I think that would be an awesome fight that I'd love to fight her. Well, I want the winner of that rematch. I wanted the winner of that rematch so I can fight for 147. But I'm going to stay at 140 because I got the hardware too. And there's a lot of good fights that can be made. But we're just going to see what the best next move is to be. But for now, I'll just hold on to my belt, sit on it, defend it, and
see what comes at you, right? Did you watch the McCaskill Breckus fight?
Mm-hmm.
How did you think the champion did?
Which champion? The dethroned champion or the current champion?
The dethroned.
She looked shot. She looked like she didn't want. I mean, she didn't look good, and McCaskill did exactly what she needed to do. She stuck to her game plan. I mean, it wouldn't be my game plan going into a second fight with Breckus, but she stuck to her game plan, and it worked for her. She just deboed and strong-armed her and took the fight. I mean,
yeah, she looked like a little
impressed with the fight itself. Not entirely, but I mean, everybody has their own opinion. It was definitely a brawl, but she did exactly what she needed to do to get the win. So I applaud her and congratulate her. But the dethroned champ, I wasn't impressed. So if you want a rematch, you might want to do not what you did against McCaskill, because I ain't gonna go work against me.
I mean, I don't think she's. Do you think she's gonna give McCaskill the rematch?
She has to. There's a rematch clause.
Oh, she has to.
She has to. I mean, that's why we have rematch clauses. You know, I mean, honestly, with certain rematch clauses, she doesn't technically have to. Mm-hmm. But it's all, does she want to, or is she going to just be like made to do it? I mean, I think at this point she wants to see if she can get those belts back. Who knows? She might win again. She might, be her this time, because you got to box her. You got to box McCaskill. She's strong. She comes forward and she comes in shape. You know what I mean? I love fights like that. So, do I think she's gonna win again? No. I'll be shocked if she does. I'll be watching. I'd love the winner of that one so I can fight for the undisputed 147-pound championship again. But for now, we'll just sit and sip our tea and sit on my nice, pretty belt and see who comes next.
What do you think about Clarissa Shields?
Oh, she's an animal. She's an animal. She's she does her thing. She's a 154. I think she's good. I wouldn't think that she'd want to go any lower, but she's good. I mean, I want to see Savannah Marshall and her go at it though, because I'm a fan of both. Savannah Marshall, man, I like her a lot. She definitely impressed me her last fight. Clarissa Shields, she does what she does. Big ups, big respect. She's she's doing her thing.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I know there's the 3 championships fights for the girls, but I think they're all way lower classes than you. I don't think they're.
Yeah, there's 115. Katie Taylor's 130, and then who else is fighting this weekend?
Rachel Ball.
Terry Harper and Thanders.
Terry Harper.
Right. Yes, I think Thanders everybody sleeps on her. Nothing against Terry Harper. I think Thanders got that. But I want to see Terry Harper, Michaela fight, because I like Michaela. I think she'll box her ears off. I keep calling her Crystal Ball.
Crystal Ball. Rachel Ball. Crystal Ball.
Rachel. Sorry, Rachel. I think she's just gonna box that other girl's ears off as well. Katie is gonna do the same to Gutierrez. I think that's her name. Katie, she's a all around great fighter. She's a regular sparring partner of mine. People don't know that either. I spar her all the time because she's trained in my hometown. Well, like a town over from me. So when she's in training in Connecticut, we spar when we can. So we help each other out. But that's also a nice catch weight fight that I would love to fight. Like that'd be a huge fight. If I stay at 140, that could also happen. There's a lot of possibilities, but I think since we're seeing a lot more female fights being televised, it's awesome for us. We're seeing championship fights. We're seeing really good, talented fighters step in there. So it's not just women's boxing and men's boxing. It's good boxing and it's good championship boxing. So I'm excited.
And I noticed that, like with women's boxing, obviously there's not so many of you like in men. You guys have a limited, group. But lately, a lot of fighters are getting more chances. Women fighters are getting more chances, like to get championship fights, which I thought was really exciting because what's her name from Australia? She was going to fight Rachel Ball.
She's a teammate of mine and she got injured, so she was actually training with me here in Philly.
Oh, she was in Philly with you. I love Ebony. Like she's so cute. I probably noticed her in the beginning of this year, and I started following her, and I'm like, she is so entertaining. She is so funny. And when she was going to Philly, I was like, it's exciting because I didn't even know she was going to be in the gym with you guys. But to have you guys all in the gym, that's like really exciting that you guys are sparring, you're sparring champions, you're sparring hard people. She's, a young fighter. She's only like what, 3-0. So to be
Yeah,
sparring,
that would have been her 5th fight.
yeah, to be sparring like you're, a made champion. That's good work for her. And I see you guys, it's a really good crowd. I'm really excited for women's boxing right now. It's really something that's picking up.
In the right direction. And a lot of people ask me the whole 3-minute round thing. Am I an advocate for it? Yes and no, because would you go to work and work 8 extra hours and not get paid for it? No. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I think adding 2 more rounds to championship fights is somewhere we should start, because I fought Cecilia and there was 2 more rounds, she wouldn't have made 2 more rounds. You know what I mean? I think you'll see a lot more knockouts that are fan friendly, and I think it would be more, the fans will take it a little bit more serious and they see 12 rounds versus 10. Now, if you want to talk about equal pay, then you can do the 3-minute rounds, but it's not that I can't do, or I don't want to do 3 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to work for free. I've been in this game for a long time. You going to tack on more time with no pay? That's not fair. So, but I think adding 2 rounds, we should start there. You know what I mean? And I'm really excited that people are getting used to seeing women's boxing. It's not a novelty anymore. So
Right. Yeah. It's not like so hidden. People are talking about it. It's really out there. I wanted to talk real quick about your past. I want to know like how you got into boxing, how you started.
you got time?
We got time. It's your time that I'm worried about.
Well, I'm just hungry because I just got out of the gym. But basically, as short as possible. I'm from Providence, Rhode Island, the youngest of 5 kids. Nobody boxed or fought in my family, so I'm the only fighter or boxer. I have 2 brothers and 2 sisters. I come from a single parent household. My father and mom got divorced when I was about 4 years old, so he was in and out. A very musically inclined family. Everybody sings or plays an instrument or does something. I don't sing, but I do. I do play instrument. I'm an artist. I like to paint, play music, listen to music. My father actually was on tour with Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch back in the day, so he was like in and out. I didn't grow up in the best neighborhood. It wasn't, the slums, but it wasn't also, I didn't grow up in a mansion either. So just going through different childhood traumas, meaning, I'm mixed racial, biracial. So I'm Cape Verdean and Native American, and living in the city setting and not being around, Native people in a different center, like i.e. like a reservation, and being both. I wasn't Native enough for the kids or the people around, and I wasn't Cape Verdean or Black enough for people. So that initially kind of always caused confusion. I was raised in a Native household. My mother's Native American in Native ways, but she was also religious and Christian. So there was that confusion. And then I'm also Two-Spirit, so there was that confusion. So I was always trying to figure something out, always fighting for something, always fighting for love, always fighting for something, always having to defend myself with kids. I used to get picked on because I had those big-ass Harry Potter glasses and the braid ties, and, my hair is crazy curly. It's not straight like Pocahontas. It was just a hot mess going on. But I found solace in sports. I found solace in my grandmother taught me how to paint and then really expressing myself. So I really didn't think boxing was around my city. I didn't think Providence, Rhode Island was big. Although it was, I just didn't really know because nobody in my family boxed. I played basketball, softball, but I just was always attracted to boxing. A friend of my mom's, he's also Native. He used to fight back in the day, and he's a jewelry maker. So when we would be at the powwows, she told me that he used to fight, and I kind of got interested. Like, can you introduce me to Domingo? Can he teach me something? So he tried teaching me a few things, but he kind of brushed me off. He didn't really take me serious. So I was really adamant I would try to learn how to box. Fighting in the streets or whatever. Always fighting with the boys. And, from about 8 to 12, I was going through some things. When I was 12 years old, I got taken advantage of by a neighborhood kid. I was raped by him. So once I hit that age, I was that was like the pinnacle of kind of like spiraling downhill. Being in the neighborhood that I was in, I started smoking weed when I was 11. I started drinking when I was 12. Because I'm the baby, all the siblings went away to college, and I really didn't have anybody. Me and my mom were bumping heads. My dad wasn't around. I was mad at him. It was just a lot of stuff going through. So I wasn't really, I didn't really fit in anywhere. I didn't fit in team sports either because I had attitude and I just didn't like team sports. I liked the fight. You know what I mean? I wanted to be somewhere where I could express myself, and the solo aspect of boxing really intrigued me because it was kind of parallel to my real life. If I didn't do something, then it was my ass that I can only blame myself, and I really counted on myself to be there for me because nobody else was. So my father ended up coming back up north years later, and I had mentioned it to him, and he actually had a relative that trained his daughter. So, and they was going to Peter Manfredo's gym. So he brought me there one hot summer day, and he said in his very Peter Manfredo senior accent, "Hey, you don't want to be here. It's hot. You want to be at the beach. You're a beautiful girl. Get out of here," kind of thing. And I was like, "Nah, I really want to do this." So,
you don't know me.
You don't know me, but took a couple of classes. My father's friend Orlando Valls, he also fought, and he also was helping to train me. And I took a couple of Peter Senior's classes, and they, he took a liking to me because I was naturally a little tough ass. You know what I mean? A little junk talk. I thought I was hot, whatever, hot blooded native. So I started sparring, and I kind of fell in love with it. When I had my first smoker, my first actual fight, I got my ass whooped by some lady, and I was like, she was like some older lady, and I was like, that was kind of like a turning point for me. Where it was like, do I either say, nah, this ain't for me? Or my thought was, well, how the hell do I make that not happen again? I don't want this old white lady beating me up again. So from there, I just really honed in on it. And because it was the only place I could be where I would just think about what I was doing at the moment, not the kid who raped me, not smoking, not drinking, not, my dad left, he's a piece of shit, my brothers ain't here, and all the stuff that I've been through up until that young point. That was the only place I did something, and my mind was quiet, and I can express myself. And then well later down the line, just being very spiritual and connected to my heritage person and being a warrior, I found bigger reason to fight and a bigger purpose to fight, way outside and way bigger than myself. And, I always say, nobody can tell you how to pray. And we all have medicine. We all have good medicine, and as Native people, and my talent, my medicine is my fighting. And, that's my ceremony. That's my gift to my people, to the world, to the creator. And with the intention of trying to spread that good medicine and having a purpose and a reason to fight, it turned into something way bigger than myself. So it's not just throwing punches and Instagram likes at this point. It's how I pray. It's what I do to represent my people, and to remind people that Native Americans are still here. We're still people. We're still humans. We still practice our culture, and we actually do things like regular things, like we can be people that fight, and also stay true to our roots and our culture as well too. So it's really important for me to incorporate that in what I do. I've had an up and down career, win this, win that. Middle of my career, when I was early on, I got into a really bad motorcycle accident. 3 months after the motorcycle accident, I got beat up by a Providence police officer. I was a victim of police brutality. That was a huge case in Providence. So I've been through some really dark times, but I've always crawled out of them, and I've always went back to boxing to help me get out of it. So and here we are. I mean, after my accident, they told me I wouldn't box again. You shouldn't box. Just hang it up. And I was supposed to have multiple knee surgeries. I didn't. I have self-rehabbed my way to 4 world titles. And there I am.
Right. And you can really say like you did it on your own. Like you built this. It's like you're like a modern warrior in your native, your native culture. And it's nice because you're bringing awareness to your culture. Not a lot of people know about it. Not a lot of people actually try. They don't, try to see how other people live, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And that's obviously a big problem in our country, and the fact that you're a four-time champion and you're Native American, it's bringing awareness, whether you know it or not. It's bringing awareness to your tribe, and like you said, it's like your way to pray, and all other people see it. So it's very, to me, it makes it so much more special for you being a champion, to watch you fight, to be cheering you on, to know your background story. To me, it's important because that's what made you. That's what made you a champion. And it's loud.
Yep. I was gonna start swinging.
What is that? I'm like, whoa, so loud.
Holy crap!
I don't know how to turn that off. But no, it's really exciting, and I'm happy that I got to speak to you today. And I'm going to put this out on YouTube, and people can hear your story and know what you're about, and know that you're not, you're not talk. You're the one that's going to back it up. There it goes again. Someone's bugging. Someone is bugging. Weren't you hungry?
Yeah, no problem. I love sharing my story, you know, just sharing what I learned that.
Jesus.
I love sharing my story. I've gotten multiple like people who reached out to me just by me sharing my story and representing you know my heritage and who I am, what I've been through. You know, it's I find healing in my vulnerability and being I will talk about any aspect of my life. I have no problem to, because I'm also a youth advocate. I'm a residential counselor for teenage girls, and to be relatable is probably the best thing that anybody could do for people, is just to be relatable, to let people know you're not the only one who might have gone through it or feel a certain way. You know, I don't think any emotion has any prejudice. You can, how we all get sad or happy may be different, but we all could feel the same thing. So just to share my story, and if people can kind of relate and, you know, get some kind of motivation to get out of that shitty place, you know, it's all worth it. It's worth more than any belts to get those emails from kids that were going to commit suicide, or from parents that thank me because their kids are half Native and half Black, and now they see somebody who's doing something who looks like them, and they find some motivation or find something that they like, and then, you know, they go for it. So that's all I'm trying to do.
That's and you don't plan on retiring anytime soon, right?
Not allowed. My manager won't let me.
All right, that's not going to happen. Okay. Well, you look young and you look really good in the ring. This last fight, obviously, you got the championship. Everybody was excited for you, and I see your team is, you know, got work ahead. I'm sure those calls are going to be coming in. And thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing your story. I really appreciate it, and I'm really glad I got to know you, so I can continue to see your fights and promote you as a fighter, because it's good for boxing, just boxing, not women's boxing, not men's. It's good for boxing.
There you go.
Yeah, that's what I love. I love boxing.
I appreciate you having me on and for your time too as well. So anytime, anything you want to ask, you want me to talk junk about somebody else, I got you. You know?
Well, I'll get some comments, I'm sure, and we'll be back.
Yep. I'm here for it all, boo. Let's go.
Yes. Oh, good. Okay, so I'm gonna end it so you can go ahead and get your food on, I'm sure.
All right, appreciate it.